Hello and welcome. It's Sunday. Did I start it like 30 seconds early? Yes. But hello, I'm your host, Phoenix Electra. It's Sunday. Usually we sew costumes, or clothes. But today I really wanted to finish this project. And I see I forgot the cat snacks. So let me just move this out of the way, run and go grab the cat snacks, and we will have a happy Loki. All right, give me 30 seconds, Loki. I run and grab the snacks. Okay, snacks have been had. Oh, you're not the cat I was expecting. Loki's bone. Okay. they had the option of going outside or having snacks. Can you tell that I have fatty boys? Come on, Loki. They were like, give us the snacks. Give us the snacks. I try to get Loki to do his tricks, but it's... I think Freddy Fruifers is the only one outside right now. The boys are just like, snacks, 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 snacks. Okay. One more each. Oh, such big. It's on there. Okay. Back to the way we used to start the show for a long, long time. Cats and snacks and cats and snacks. I hope everybody's having a good Sunday. Slept in. Woke up to the sounds of wah, wah. It was getting late, and little man was like, "You have not gotten up to feed us yet. I am hungry. I will irritate you until you decide to get out of bed and feed me." And oh my gosh. Yeah. So we went for a walk, came home, went to bed, slept in, had breakfast, hung out, was kind of feeling poopy. I was like, do I even want to have a show today? I almost didn't set it up, and I was like, no, this project for the mummers is not going to finish itself. So we should show up. And of course I've got a giant cat butt in the way of where I needed to work on things. Isn't that the way? Isn't that the way, little man? I don't have any more snackies. I closed the snack sack up. So here I have on the picture of what their iteration of this project looked like. And then here is my iteration. Well, not completely exact, but I didn't expect it to. Somehow, when I was stitching, I've got some extra fabric I need to figure out how to. It's not laying completely flat, so we got to figure out what to do. We have our one little birdie. I've got my second little birdie. There we go. And hey, dude, what are you doing to the microphone cords? Is there anything else you'd like to dump overboard for me? All right, let's get the shears. So here I've got another little piece for the bird. There's a couple of detail things. Oh, the wings down. I have to do white stitching and finish up the faces. So there's that to do. And then I got the pieces traced for the cactuses. And I was trying to decide whether I was going to cut each one individually or actually, you know what I think I'm gonna do? The dark is the back one. Might. Oh, there's the interfacing piece for this section that I keep misplacing. And that, so I got that piece to attach. So it is. Okay, bobbin thread. Stop trying to roll overboard. Just set this aside. Okay. I think what I'm going to do, instead of cutting each of these little sections individually, I'm going to loosely cut pin it on the cut a square of the dark green and then just cut some littler sections to applique, and then I can do it as a unit. Absolute unit. Why did I think about you right now? Okay, because your name is funny. That way I can have one just to mix. I think, yes. And I've got enough. If I flub it up, then I'll just retrace it and do it again. It'll be fine. And if I don't have enough, I know I have extra greens floating around somewhere. So we'll trim the interfacing down. We have some little guideline, but we don't need the interfacing to be super huge because we're just going to cut it back anyway. You know, after our 2 days of pre-autumn, it's gone back to near summer-esque weather. It's supposed to be 90 at the end of the week. We went from 60 and rainy to 90. You know, normal sub-alpine desert weather. This way. Okay, so there. Have this piece in the dark. I think. You know, there's a way that they said how to do this, and this, of course, as Phoenix per usual, we're like, who needs to follow all the directions? I'm gonna do it the way I want to sew it. Yeah. Which is how I end up with something a little bit wonky. I think this is like gonna be crooked. Right? I think it's impossible with this to be completely squared. We'll figure it out. We'll just deal with this wonky section with the rotary cutter later. This section, on the other hand, is gonna bug me a little bit. And I might make some little, I don't know how I'm gonna fix that. I don't know yet. But I wonder, can I take a scrap, trace it, and then cut the green and stitch it? For the dark one, this one I want to be a light colored piece. Oh no, I already started to cut this one. Can I just... And get a little corner. Okay, put this piece out of the way. And be there. Okay, so it goes this way so I can make some little nips. Finger press. Let's trim this down a little bit more. Yeah, so I hope everybody's had fun, joy. I think I might be able to get this project done this week so we can start the other one. And we'll see how that goes. So we're gonna finger press all our little clips down. And this goes like that. Oh, because when I can do the pieces that are going to stay the dark green, I can just rip out, cut away the interfacing because we won't need them. Then we'll have something to stabilize it as we're stitching. I thought for half a second we were going to use the machine, but I think it'll be easier to hand stitch these tiny little sections down. So this is where my brain is working. I know, we'll get back to clothes next week, I promise. Just needed to get this project done. Keep sending progress photos to the sibling who sent it to me. And they like it. I don't completely dislike it, so I'll call it a win. And where's my thimble? So I usually find where the fold is, so I can really knock there. And just take it and stitch it. I'm trying to get close to it. And I think I don't need to catch it, and if I do, then we'll just rip it out later. Don't have all these like tiny fiddly bits we're trying to. I don't know, that just sounded terrible. It's like, I'm not gonna do that. I don't want to. Then I'll have enough to sew down the whole thing all in one big clump. Yeah, then I pulled out the other day when it was cold. I grabbed out my knitted pants. And I've got to, you have to go through our knits and do some pre-winter mending of the knits. Got socks to darn. And I should check the sweaters. Check my sweater collection as well. I have 3 whole drawers of hand sweaters I've knitted for myself. Yeah, so I'm just going through and doing a little lip stitch. Nothing fancy. Then I can trim the dark green back super close, and I'll just applicate the whole chunk. Oh man, I'm tired. Did laundry. Yeah, did all those like weekend things. Hello, hello, everybody. Put that tucked in there. Yeah, so I should get closer to the camera. I should put myself up and sit a little bit straighter because I'm slouchy McSloucherston right now. Alright, where's this piece get folded into? I just made little clips. Ouch. So we've got mill raw edges on this little green piece. And just enough to trim the green when we get there. And almost back at the beginning, I've got this one corner. And call that a stitch. So, oh, and I unthreaded my needle. So we have the first little cactus piece attached. You'll rethread the needle to carry the thread to the back and tie it off. And we'll leave this one green, we'll leave this one dark green, this will be light green, and we'll figure out what to do with this very light green, dark green, dark green, light green. Maybe we'll just leave that one dark green and call it good. We'll figure it out when we get there. Oh, I'm stuck in my pants. Lord, we are reading at streaming today. If this was a garment, I would make more secure knot types, but for this I'm just making a loop, pulling it through once and pulling it tight. And then we'll snip it. And I have just enough, not that for the next piece. So what did we say? Dark green, dark green. Oh, you know what? Maybe we'll, in this section, it's going to be all one thing. Let's go and do a little back stitch for definition. Because if not, it's all going to look like one giant blob of green. Okay, so I trimmed the interfacing up enough so I can move it out of the way. I'm going to line the edge. And then we're going to pull up. I'm going to take a little bite and then go halfway through. And we're going to go about the same distance. Oops. I knew I wanted some decorative hand stitching in here somewhere, so this is how we're going to do it. That way we can get the impression of it being appliqued on, with it all actually being one section. So you can see there's the green, and here is the line of back stitches, which is hard to see the tone on tone. I get it. Well, let's do this. Anything on this others? Oh no, it's not this section off, because we'll do the back stitching from here to here for the Or we could, instead of doing a back stitch, let's do a little chain stitch next. We'll just mix up our stitches just to, because I'm sewing it and I can sew it how I want, darn it all. Also, should we do dark green on dark green? So I'm going to double this one for the, no, I don't need to. Okay, so always when you get it, your thread for hand stitching, pull up, trim the tip, and thread from the section you just unraveled. Because thread has a direction that it likes to be on the needle. Your results are much nicer if you treat it the way it likes. And I am nodding. Some folks just take little stitches. Okay, so let's start our let's start with the part that's uncut and then we'll work our way around. Okay, so for our next stitch, we're gonna make a bite, go back to the original. And gonna go through like we're making a knot. Let's move the pen because you're getting in my way. I forgot how to do that. Never mind. Let's do another. We'll just do another row of back stitches. I forgot how to do the stitch I wanted. Oh, it's because I'm trying to go in the wrong direction, I think. How do I do this? Oh, there. Okay. If I'm doing this right, then I can explain it. I know, and then not like it's easy to see because this dark green thread on green. Okay. Let's see if I can explain this. Even if I can't, it's not going to show up nicely. So I have my working thread. I'm going to hold it with my left hand thumb out of the way. I'm going to take my needle from where we started. I'm going to take a small bite, like 3 millimeters, and make sure that the working thread is underneath my needle. So that way it makes a little loop. And then we're going to pull taut. I'm going to do one more, and then we'll turn. So I don't know. So there's where we. It's super. far hard to see the dark green on dark green, I realize. Oh. I'm getting lost in my... Okay, I don't want it too big. Oh, excuse me, I should have... Oh. Excuse me. Okay, just nice. And so I think I can trim this piece out. I just did a little zhuzhing on that last stitch because it was a little funny. I know, no sewing machine today, and it's hard to see what I'm doing. Can I? Okay, so there's the stitch. I'm gonna go up a couple millimeters, holding the thread underneath my left thumb. Oh, and I don't make it too taut because it'll distort it. And then I just go through the same loop that I just completed. Move the thread out of the way. Hold it so it doesn't get too taut. Find the loop. Go up a couple millimeters. Pull taut. Okay. Let's finish this off and then we'll cut our last light green section. Because the other one will do more, we'll do it on the light green because it's close, it's chose the dark green for this little one because it's more in the background, and this big hunk in my brain was more in the foreground and later stuff. It's color theory and perspective for non-artists. I tried to learn a few things. I'll use this same green because it's already in the needle. Okay, so when I'm hand sewing to make a knot, index finger, I wrap the thread around my finger so it makes a complete loop. I take my thumb and I rotate it, and then clip the sections between my finger and pull taut, and we have a little knot. Okay, carefully snip this section out. We've got the first green, the second panel, the dark chain stitch section and then we will do a lighter green for this top one just to be able to see it a little bit. All right, so I've got my piece. And we'll just I need it a little bit bigger than the template so I can notch it to make the edges nice. But I don't need a full 1/4 inch to hand stitch this, so it's more like 3 millimeters, 1/8 of an inch. And this section's a little bit too big, so I can trim this down. Both of them. And I'm making a lot more notches than I would on certain things because this is basically a circle. And I need this ease to be able to fold the little sections over so it stitches nice and flat at the end. Okay, so there's the next piece. You know, it sits there. So I'm gonna pin it to hold it. And I guess we'll start stitching this way around. Okay, thimble. Knotted thread. And I'm gonna find where my notch is. Slip it in. And then the first section, fold it over. Make our little lip stitch. And I just pricked myself because it's bound to happen. Ooh, my hands on big. And this is a little piece, so we're just doing tiny little stitches so it doesn't look out of place. And we're just carrying around this little patch. Applique, it's not a patch. And then just following between the little snips and the piece that's still indone. So I know all of these sections are supposed to fit into place. You know, I might need to just make some little notches into that rust section. And I've got enough done. I can take the pin out because that's going to get in my way. I just I was hearing stuff outside. Now the boys, now that they've had their snackies, they're running around outside. Fortunately, we've been very lucky with the smoke this year. It's been like almost tolerable, which is great. It'll be nice to get back to some garments, but I have to go through my clothes, make sure. Just these projects have been sitting unmade for 7 years, so I've got to get this one finished so that we can get the next one. I did do some prep work for the other art quilt. I traced the motifs out onto interfacing. So that part is done. And that one, it says to just sew right onto fusible batting. But since I'm not using fusible batting, I'm going to use felt for my batting layer. I'll just stitch onto that. And we're going to use the zigzag attachment and sew it on the machine because it's a lot of straight lines. That one, or long strips. Straight lines isn't really, it's nature. There's no really any straight lines. Now I've been getting caught up watching this on the tubes. Oh, I knew I was going to do it. Hey! That fusible batting is expensive. Plain is okay. Brilliant. I was just going to use felt since it's a wall quilt. How are you doing today? We're working on these cactuses. Since I've got most of the, there was their suggestion. Oh, hey Kilroy, welcome in. And then here's my interpretation. Okay, let me back out the camera. There's mine. And there's, I don't even want to talk about it, this section right here where I'm going to have to like add some notches to manage it because it's kind of ploofy. Oh, I'm falling out of my chair now. Yeah, I don't really have that for the wall quilt. I was just going to use the flannel. It's like, oh, fusible interface, fusible, or some one thing that I might not use it again. I'm like, no, I'm not spending them. Not interested. And on these cactuses, I, instead of applying each of these are supposed to be like separate little pieces. I use the dark green as the background. I'm applying the light green, and then I did some backstitch and decorative little pieces. Your one looks bigger. Yeah, right. And there's a spot where we're like, completely uneven. I think this is going to be like, instead of a nice rectangle, it might be like parallelogram. Like, something's not quite right there. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but it's like, well, we'll just use the border to massage it back into a rectangular-ish shape. Because, yeah, I think it made a boo-boo somewhere. Or a long list of boo-boos somewhere. Yeah, so I did a chain stitch, did some back stitch to outline here. And then we've got our next clump of cactuses, the two birds to finish, and then the finishing things. It can be trimmed. Yes, I'm going to have good friends with the rotary cutter for that. One out of the lines, create new lines. Exactly. It's like, because I keep looking at stuff and like stressing. I'm like, oh, that's not right. And then I think I've said this like a jillion times. If it was making this for me, I honestly, it would just not bother me so much. But that it's a gift, like, is like, but it's not perfect. Like Bob Ross says, happy little accidents. Exactly. Yes, we've had a whole milieu of happy little accidents in this project for sure. But I've really enjoyed working on it, which is the most important part, isn't it? Oh, I keep forgetting where my frame is. I pulled the camera closer and then I'll trim this block back. Let's stitch this whole section down. Figure out, yeah, because something in here, this section isn't laying flat, so I need to nip and figure something out. Or I'll just leave it and it'll just have some extra texture there. It's more three-dimensional on that part of the mountain. Because I think I did it to myself by sewing it on. I set it on a pillow. That whip stitch does it. look like cactus needles. I think so. Let's see here. Can I get the focus nice? Okay, let me. Okay, can I? Yes, I do have stuff. Yes, I did try to make it look spiky like needles coming off, even though I'm not doing a good job showing it. I could do my old-fashioned trick of, but I can't. And then I outlined some with backstitch. The one that it's really not doesn't like to show up is I did a chain stitch to outline the other cactus. Because I didn't feel like cutting out like all of the little sections. I just didn't wanna, so I didn't. And for the other section, I'm going to do the similar thing, but have the background be the same, this light green, because it's more in the foreground. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I saw it a bit off. Yes, I'll try to take a better close-up picture. We'll post it on the community page. Tried to make it lots of little stitches so it's nice and spiky looking. Oh, there. I just left it alone. Oh, they're all a little bit different. And there's this. We'll work on this one next. No, where's that? There we go. Okay, you don't need that little piece there. Get out of the way, interfacing. And just stuff these last raw edges in. Okay, we're almost done with this last little light green one for this piece. I know after these art projects I'll be ready to sew some clothes again, but I just needed to get this project done. I'm just trying to stuff in those raw edges. Okay, let's knot this section off. Might be time for some new thread. So come around out. And I think I want to use a different shade of green. Did I pull out my... Oh, no, up this way. No. Oh, I guess I need to stitch here. Oh, okay. And I'll do some outlines to make that more defined. So we're going to do some light green for this last piece up here. Maybe I'll do enough to do both. Or do we want to do a variegated green? Let me grab that. Here's my variegated one. Ooh, this would be fancy for this list. Let's do some metallic variegated and be super fancy. There's my needle. So let's do, I think this is a sulky. And stitch, back stitch. Let's do like our chain style stitch, I think. Just makes it a little bit more bulky. Yeah, I think it looks like it. Does this have that same, yeah, when I got my BB lock, I looked at their embroidery threads in the sales section, and I got a whole bunch of threads. I should go back to that store because it's been a while. We're not in the right spot. I don't think I've hand sewn with this thread. Hopefully it hand thread sews nicer than it, or causes me less guff than it does with the machine, because it's kind of a bear sometimes. It just shreds. I'm forgetting which direction. Some of these hand stitches, I know how to do them, and then I get it. I'm like, oh, I'm going to do this now, and my brain goes completely how do I do that stitch again? Even though I literally just did it. I want the stitches to be cut more little. I don't want giant loops. Ooh, okay. One second. This looks super cute. Alright. So where the shine is coming up. Ooh, this is like. Okay, I'm getting tangled in my threads. Oh. Okay, I know this is. I'm getting lost between the all the little pieces, and this thread is kind of squidgy to sew with. And then try not to get stuck up in my pin. You know what? That's fine. Yeah, see, there's our line of stitches. Oh, I don't know why I didn't do this metallic one earlier. Let me get that pin out of the way. This does not need anything more. It just tries to get like, it's like, if thread could feel like Velcro and want to stick to everything, that is this metallic thread. It's not smooth. No, so far I haven't broken any needles today, though. Alright, this last section is did. Finish the stitch off, knot it, and there, not terrible. And flat. Alright, let's knot this off. Those little flaky bits in the thread. Yeah, yes. It's so pretty, but it is so not a smooth, it does not have a nice hand feel. It just wants to like get caught in everything. It's quite impressive in that its ability to do so. Oh, that's what I was thinking. I was gonna say of how I got that like lump in the step section is in some of the sections where I knew everything was just gonna get covered over, I was sewing on a pillow as a prop instead of hooping it, and I didn't sew every layer down. Sometimes I just, it's like, oh, you're gonna get covered, I'll just deal with you later. All right, so there's the whole block. I should need to take this first green and finish outlining that one cactus. But we'll do that next. So I can trim it back and then whip stitch it as a unit. Let's see here, that one goes next to the big one. Let's see here. So there's this kind of where it's going to be in situ with our mountain quail. Okay, this next block, next bunch, it's more in the foreground. We're going to do similar things. I'm going to take the light green with some pins and then trim this out. Then we'll stitch on dark pieces and do some embroidery. Okay, I'm gonna move that out of the way because knowing me, if I'm not careful, I would just trim through the whole thing. And that would be terrible at this stage of the game. Okay, take my thimble off. Okay, move that extra. Make sure it's a little bit bigger than what we need, but that's fine. Alright, I don't need this light green anymore. I don't know why I was so terrified when I started this project that I was like gonna not have enough fabric. It's like every kit I've ever done, they always give you way more than you need. So I was like, why? Why are you worrying? Should we do, alright. Light green, dark green, light green. Light, dark, light, or dark, light, or do I just want to do decorative embroidery stitches this whole block and then just tear off the stabilizer? Why not? Okay, sold. Plus, have you looked at your fabric stash? Not enough fabric. I know. I know. You're completely right, Allie. I was like, if the kit didn't give me enough, it's not like I don't have enough where I could just like go into the tubs and like slot something else in. I know. Fortunately, I'm not as bad as Will, I don't think, but we do have a problem. I know I would have enough to match everyone. I know. I could have thrown in some. Well, that's why I mixed it up, because I added some stash fabric. The wings. I was like, I would have put in for some of the silk. So I think I made Mummer's pillowcases out of this silk too. So I was like, oh, stuff for my auntie to send back to Mummer's. If you're going to tear off stabilizer, maybe use paper. Good thinking. Because this one, especially, yeah, this does not tear as nicely as some of the other ones. All right, do I have a scratch? Papers floating around in my skinny paper. What is this? Oh no, that's my safe pattern. Can't rip that. Let me go grab a piece of papier there. Okay. Back. So we'll just retrace this piece. Again, actually, go back to the original pattern and just most of out of the way. You're so smart, Allie. Okay, so here's the pattern. We did all of this. We're in the home stretches. We'll just retrace this clump here. Yeah, because I can imagine trying to rip through if I use that metallic, which I've got in my mind to do for some of them, that I might ruin my stitches. It's like you've got some practice. Thanks for sharing your knowledge with me, Allie. I don't want to be contrite biatch. You are so appreciated. Actually, all the chats and the people who hang out, everybody. I always learn something new. Oh, that's good, because then I can just stitch embroidery over it. Because first in my head, I like really wanted to do some decorative hand stitching, and this seems like the perfect place for that. Besides the details on those mountain quails. Okay. We are traced. We'll just pin that onto our piece. All right, let's pin this down and stitch, or even that washout stuff. Oh, things that make things easier help. I hope absolutely. This will be perfect, because then I can just stitch over these, over the. I know that I cut this piece big enough. Why does it seem too small? There we go. Okay. Now this is perfect because then I'll just rip off the little sections when we're done with it. Because I don't... Oh, the water-soluble one. Yes. That one doesn't have a nice... It makes the stuff tacky and sticky. Yeah, the washout. I have a whole bunch of the washout stuff, but it doesn't... I don't know if I would like sewing on it for this because it doesn't have a nice hand feel. Neither does this thread though. The paper will be just fine. Oh, should we do some chains? Maybe we'll make sure to see if I can remember how to do some feather stitching. Let's see how many. Try a couple of different embroidery stitches. Do I have a knot in here? Doesn't matter if I just... So we'll do a back stitch one. Oh, we haven't back stitched with this horrible thread. We'll go through and see what other threads and stitches we come up next. No, that sounds super good. I feel like I should put this in a little hoop, but I haven't hooped any of this project, so why should I start now that we're like in the home stretch? Oh. That paper rips like the old stamps used to. Yes, this paper is going to be nicely perforated. It's going to be brilliant. The only issue I'm having is that I used a metallic green and I'm stitching with this metallic green thread. And I can't see where the stitches are versus the tracing. It's just gonna like pop right out and be brilliant. Yeah, perforated paper, or the old computer paper that had the perforated edges. The ink dot, or the... I still have some of that paper. Oh, that plate is too big. It's fine. We're doing this for fun. This is not stress. Why does this stress me out so much? No, this paper is good for tracing patterns, but making it, I have to be very careful if I make a pattern out of it because it just wants to tear. I just use it in the interim stuff and then switch over. I've got some brown, like, brown paper, bag paper on a roll. Or if I really like something, I use cardboard. Dot matrix paper. Yes. Yep. Oh, the 80s and 90s. Still have some. Still have my computer from 2000. Why, I don't know, but I don't have the heart to get rid of it. I don't have the monitor or any of the other pieces. But I've got the tower. And probably the power dot. The power. Oh, this will be super fun when we rip it off and see how it looks. You know, my mom really loves the dot matrix, the corners of it, for making perfect lines when we make pasankis, which are the Ukrainian Easter eggs. I need to check my dies. I haven't made them in a couple years and I really miss it, but I have to like block out a couple of days to do it because it's a hurry up and wait process and the dies just take up a lot of space. Oh, you can kind of see. Here's the back side. This is going to be super satisfying to rip this off. Oh, let's see here, Kara. You can still, I can still get dot matrix printers. Oh my goodness, but it's foolish use of money compared to what other printers you get for how much that dot matrix paper printer costs fair. I need to have enough of the paper. Oh my god, Allie, you still have a 1979 Mattel Intellivision in front of me right now. Old pre-Nintendo system. That is awesome. I heard for the first time, I'm gonna forget the name of the singer, but this chap made a song all about the Neo Geo arcade game stations. So did you get it all set up and working? Are you hanging out and playing video games? That is so awesome. Did you get all your cords squared away with? Okay, come along, come along. I knew this was going to be fun, but I'm not surprised at how stressed out it made me, but I'm glad I've enjoyed it as much as I have, because I was like, all right, you got to get these two done. All of my holiday stuff has to be shipped out right after Thanksgiving, so I know it gets there on time, because I have this terrible issue of packages not ending up at their destination, or I've got everything done and I forget to send it out. I'm like, what, Phoenix, what's wrong with you? Why do you do this to yourself every year? So the goal is to say that the deadline is Thanksgiving instead of Christmas, or instead of just sometime in December, the last shipping date. Oh, I have to text home and see if My dad liked his biltong. So I find these companies that I want to try, and I don't order stuff for myself, but I get it as gifts. Maybe I'll order some for somebody else's birthday that's coming up soon. Even though their present's already here. It's like I was talking about something and I saw it selling on Amazon. It was listed at $250, but on sale for $50. I was like, sold. Oh, this is super crinkly. I get this to show up nicely. I can kind of. Okay. Alright, not this section, and pick another green so we have some contrast in our cacti. Alright, one done. We're still in the foreground, so let's go with this green. What is this? Loriani. We'll use our bright shiny colors in the foreground. Let's see here, which stitch? We did a back stitch. We'll do a chain stitch next, I think. Okay, a little bit extra because that takes a little bit more thread for me. Well, I guess we'll just start here. Oh, the cats are coming in. Did we have a killer? Did he kill something?
What?
Did he kill something?
No, I just found a big hole.
Oh, the cat, little man was outside and I just let him get scooped up and feet being moved, so just checking that he wasn't doing some extra hunting. He gets real cat food. He doesn't need to hunt. My brain is going through a conundrum to decide if I was going to do the chain stitch next to the section that where I'd done the back stitching, or if I was just going to use the stitch from the previous one as that line of demarcation. So I was like, where do I start? But I think we'll do this way. And I'll just move my foot so it doesn't fall asleep. Yeah, and I'll just do little 3mm chains, 2 or 3. I don't want huge stitches. Practice being dainty. Oh, my foot's falling asleep from sitting on it. Oh, was Wild Kitten part Wildcats? Yes. Yeah, fortunately, no killing, no animals were harmed. It was a hole from where the groundhogs do come up and try to steal from my garden, but I just saw them get scooped up and then feet moving. I was like, what happened here? Because I can see the outside, but I can't see the ground to know what's going on. But yeah, he decided that Mr. was folding laundry earlier, was on the bench. Little man was like, yes, I will sleep here so that you cannot finish your laundry folding. Oh my god, he did such a, yeah, he was so, he slept until 9 o'clock, which is a luxury. And he comes starting at 7 o'clock. He's like, "Meh, meh, meh. How dare you sleep instead of getting up and feeding me?" Except then earlier, before that, I startled everybody because I was having this crazy dream. I don't remember all of the parts of it, but the part that I remember most distinctly was I was standing in front of the rose bush, and there was this marionette that, in that kind of that stylish of the Rankin Bass marionettes, super high, pink rouged cheekbones, very angular, and she was trying to draw me into the bushes, into the other world, the netherworld. And I remember thinking to myself, I knew I was in a dream, but also I was like, you need to come up with a spell so she doesn't take you. And it was bushes of or roses of or thorns of roses protect me, or so. I can't remember, but I yelled it at her, and I woke myself up, and I was like, did I yell that out loud in my sleep? And I was informed later, yes, I did. And I startled the mister. But that was the most, I guess I've been talking in my sleep before that too. Which I am, it's been a while, but I do not infrequently have dreams where I'm talking and or mumbling in my sleep. It's good times. Good times. Hey, creepy goobies! You know, stitching on this paper is going to make it seem like magical, like a present when I get to tear off the paper and see how it looks. Well, I can kind of see from the other side. So I'm choosing slightly lighter colors for the cacti in the foreground. That guy made Trio on made. Okay, let's see here. That guy that made Trill on made these types of marionettes hand carved. Oh my god, that's amazing. Ugh. There's so many I'm so enthralled with so many talents. And I think that I'm not very talented, and then I'm like, wait, Phoenix, you're not awesome at oodles of things, but you're not horrible either. Always the self-deprecating clown I am. Yeah, so can I? There's the green that we're working on. There's the other one. I wish that they would. My favorite Rankin Bass ones, though, the Life and Adventures of Santa Claus. There's some of them that are so good that I don't usually play them. I have to search them out on YouTube every year. My most favoriteest ones. All the old kids, yes. Oh, I've probably seen his work. He's made some famous ones. Okay, I probably have. If not, then the Mister sure has, because he has a few more years of television watching on me. I'll have to go and look. I'm gonna take. Oh, I've got a pen. I can't screenshot because I was listening to something. And my phone just died. Okay. Did. Just tear back that paper we done. Oh, he got taught by that man that made the Rudolph and Santa ones. Oh, I love that one. I love all of them. There's not a Rankin Bass that I don't enjoy. I don't think. His first job was with Rankin and was a sci-fi kids show. Ooh, I will have to look for that one. I don't know about this. I'm gonna have some searching to do. Because I could use something fun and lighthearted to take a break from border security and Scam City. All these random shows. Okay, might as well make this pen. Okay, sparkles, green. I'm gonna have to go back review how to do the feather stitch because I think a feather stitched one would just makes sense because it will give it like those cactusy spiky things. That's what I always forget how to do until I like get started, and I'm like, oh right, it's not that complicated. Actually, I think I have a video of me practicing that stitch. Go back and watch my old video. But I did find the PDF for just the Singer embroidery manual. So now I've got one of the lace embroidery and just the straight up embroidery. So it might be fun to read a section and then practice the techniques. Or at least I thought that would be amusing. Alright, let's get these cacti did. I can applique them on tomorrow in the morning with coffee. And it's just the birds, the border, and the binding, because I couldn't decide with all of this stuff going on where to actually do some quilting on it or whether I wanted to just like wasn't sure, or if I needed to. So I just haven't committed to it yet. And I'm not ready for that part anyway, so I didn't need to make a decision. Oh, excuse me. It's not even that late. Why am I sleepy? I can't wait to start ripping off the paper. I have for a long time been looking for the 1890 Columbia Exhibition Singer embroidery write-ups in the papers. Haven't found a thing, but the official printout handout of the exhibit advert. I'm guessing, have you looked at the archive.org and would they maybe have Columbia? So that's in America. Would they at the Smithsonian? Is it the Smithsonian or the National Archives that has all the old newspaper articles? If you haven't, that's where I would think to look. Because I thought that the Smithsonian, yeah, the National Archives, I think, would most likely have stuff. I think they would. I'll take a gander, see if I can help you out with that. Oh, Getting stuck in my pins again. Well, let's see here. I would have to have access to the microfiche, and they are very slow with access. Yes. Okay. Right. Yeah, that takes a while to look for at each one of those little pieces. Oh, let me keep thinking. Or go to the storage site. Yeah, you want to go down to DC for a while. But yeah, I wouldn't. That would be where I would go to try to inquire. Here, can you plug this in for me? Because it died. Thanks. I know. Can you just FOIA them and be like, do you have this? I wouldn't want to go to DC right now, though. Oh, it's so funny. It's been such a hot minute since I used to. When I started this channel, all I did was hand sewing. Getting back to our first 8-9 months of me live streaming was just me practicing hand sewing before Brunhild came into my life. Well, I think I am gonna just feel like it would look complete if we didn't finish the chain stitch up to the beginning. Okay, get out of the way. Oops. And pricking ourselves again. Oh, let's see, you're going to DC. Yeah, Killer, going to DC during an election year is not a smart tourist move. No. Definitely not. Especially not this year. Yeah. I think the only time I went to DC was for for a march. And where was we living? It's the early 2000s. Before we moved away. Far, far away. I'm waiting for these pieces to just start falling out so we can see, but I'm not going to tear them out unless they fall out. So I want to let it be a surprise. Okay. I think we're back at the beginning. Do one more for good measure. And I think I have just enough that I'll do this little one here. So it's still kind of in the foreground before we switch to our darker tones for the more background ones. Well, the back looks nice, or not. And I know I'm hearing folks like, you don't need to put knots, you just do a couple of little stitches. I know, I just don't feel like it. I don't know. Let's just chalk it up to, I know what better practices are, I'm just choosing to ignore them. Alright, feather stitch. Once I rethread my needle. Okay, can you just get in there nice? Nope, fine. Alright. I'll just slobber all over you. Okay, brain, how do I do that one? I forgot how to do it. See if I can just start remembering. I always do knots and stitches because I'm paranoid, right? Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. Oh, I keep pulling my thread off from the needle. I know for garments I always like putting knots, but for decorative stuff I don't mind just taking some stitches. For some reason this project, it's all got knots in it, so like why switch now? But we're like in the home stretch of this. Okay. Alright, okay, let's just do back stitch in this one while I try to remember how to do the other stitches. I know there will not be French knots. Oh, you know what maybe we should try one with the bullion stitch. So I don't usually use that one, and that would add a fun texture. Let me think. Okay, yeah, a dark green bullion sold. he's not here right now. I got him a drone for his birthday. He was talking about wanting one, and I saw one at a really good price. Okay, I'll get you that. We'll have to take the drone operators manual. Let's see here, Allie. I have a cheat tool killer. Ooh, I can put this device in and pull a thread back into a stitch hole. The only one I ever saw. So tiny, but so beautiful. That sounds amazing. Thinking of other old-fashioned toys, have you used a hummingbird? And do I want to try to find one? A Dremel? No. I'll, can't right now. But yeah, I saw somebody use it, like it hooked onto the table, and it held the fabric for when they're doing find hemming. It's like, and then it's just too punny. HEMMING bird. Yes, one of those things. Yes. Yes, he will. I know. I was like, oh, we were talking about things and I couldn't say it earlier, but now I can't talk about it anymore. We are coming along. Alright, I might be able to get through this last one. I want to keep spending longer, but I keep getting like uncomfortable on my sewing table. Yeah. A sewing bird are expensive. The old ones are. Some have a pin cushion on them too. Oh man. That sounds amazing. Getting grumpy sitting down, and I'm like, wait, I'm on something. I can stand up. I figured that they were not cheap things to find in good condition. Last one I have seen was made by Singer from the 50s. Okay. So it's one of those things I'll keep my eyes open for, but never expect to actually have in my possession. Check. I know, because can't sit, can't stand. I think I was like a box of Rice Krispies. I don't have one, and I have not used one yet. They do seem very handy. I know! For certain, but I guess if it's just for doing fine hem stitching by hand, with the machines I have, making friends with the narrow rolled hem foot, now that I'm thinking about it, it's probably just like the novelty that I would really want it for rather than how much I would actually use it. So I think it would just be cute. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I would actually use it or if it's just that I'm like saw it and I'm like, me wanty. It's funny embroidery books and not other. Ooh. Oh, that's right. I said I was going to do a bullion stitch. I know how to do that one. I just need enough thread to wrap it around. Or actually, the other place that they sing that they would be super awesome would be when drawing the threads for smocking. But then I also saw folks just doing hand-stitched tucks and then using that as your smocking. I think I'm saying words that I'm getting myself confused. Yeah, because I don't have enough overambitious things that I need to finish, and I want to make something with like a smocked waist, because I need the waist part smocked, not over the beads, because that's where I need the extra fabric. But I'd like to have a cute nipped-in waist, always. Well, I guess I could have used some embroidery floss instead of just sewing thread. Oh well. Don't matter. The other thing I was thinking of doing a little sampler of was winding some of my bobbins with elasticated thread to do the elasticated shearing on this machine, on the Sphinx, just to see if I could, how it worked. I've done it on other modern machines. Okay. I think I'm just gonna not stitch this section so it looks like this piece is behind the other one. And we're getting a little short on the thread, so good. Just as well. Oh, I wonder if he's starting to prep vegetables for liver and onions and mashed potatoes. That's what he decided he wanted. But he also, usually I just like the chicken liver, but he found some beef liver that was already cut little and prepped. Alright, so we have three done. I think let's do this super darker green and we'll do a bullion stitch for this one. We're not going to worry about this because this is like traveling backwards. So you wouldn't see the bottom of that cactus anyway. Helps if I take out the old thread before I try to put in the new one. I know, 2 times ago, we got cucumbers from the grocery store. We got the long green cucumbers, like the English cucumbers, and there must have been something on them. It sat in a bag in the fridge for a week, and they didn't go bad, and they felt rubbery. Like, they just didn't feel right. So I was like, all right, this is the last time we get these cucumbers. If we get them, we have to get the ones that are only local and in season right now, that have to be eaten in like 3 days, or they're starting to rot. So I've had 2 huge cucumber salads as a result. I have to stock up. I'm going to have to seriously wait till next year for cucumber salad again. Alright, we've got our knot. And, alright, is this one that we... bullion stitch. Take the thread around the needle, what is it, like 7 or 8 times? A whole bunch of times. And take a tiny bite down. I guess I'll just go down and up again. I was going to say the one I'm not going to do is French knots because I hate making French knots. Then the bullion stitches, elongated French knots. That one was not very pretty. But it does look very cactus-like, so we're just going to roll with it. Oh, I completely went through the seam hole. Okay. What's going on here? Alright, that one literally looked like a French knot instead of a bullion. We're just having some textured stitches. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Maybe I need way more rounds to be. Okay. Take 2. Okay, so I've got my rounds and I'm just trying to slowly pull them off in a straight, not squished fashion. Is this going to work? No. No, my bullions just look like French knots. Okay, just very floofy French knots. Alright, take 3. Okay, so it looks like enough, but then they're getting all bunched. If I hold it flat. Oh, that's better. Okay. Okay. So that second one is, or the third one. Okay. This one definitely looks like it's 3-dimensional. This one's got a lot of character. And it might poke you. Oh yeah, I've got my Scully sweats that I made a couple weeks ago. Perfectly lightweight fleece. Flannel. No. Sweatshirting material. Okay, so what's the trick? What have I learned? Need to have enough loops. Ooh. You this bouillon. Pull it a little tauter. Looks like little caterpillars. I am not counting how many wraps I'm doing. I'm just like, yeah, this feels like enough. Oh, I know. I think making sure that I give it the stitches enough space. For the French knot, you do the wraps and it's like all right on top of each other, but this is supposed to be elongated, so I need space for it to elongate into. This is kind of a slow stitch, but it's worth it for the mummers. No, either next week I will have finished this project and we'll start the next one, or no, we will be done. I am finishing this project this week. So actually, let's see here. The hand stitching stuff I'll finish during the weekday, and then maybe Saturday morning we'll put it all together and start the next one. Yes. Oh, oh come on. Where did this shenanigan? Okay, come on. Don't be yucky. Now I've got this big yucky sploogey thing just going on here. What? Can't even. I have this sploogey thing, and I'm just gonna couch it down. I'm gonna take this mess and call it a happy accident, and it's gonna look beautiful. So I'm just taking that line of yuckiness, taking a bite on either side, stitching it down, and calling it amazing. Project full of happy accidents. And then I think for the nieces and nephews, they're all small enough. I think I might make like the aprons that slip over your head and tie at the sides so that they've got some like crafty aprons for the holidays. I've got some like big animal print and random things. Because that's stuff all kids need. Playtime apron smocks. And I could do three in a show, I think. Alright, let's see if I can get back to the bullion. It heard me complaining about how long that stitch was going to take, and I was like, just couch it instead. Okay, that was better again. So the hard part about this stitch is that it is the like taking the time to wrap it around, but it's kind of a long stitch, so it's deceptive of where the time-consuming part is. Oops. Okay, I got that enough stuff done. Plus, let's see, why don't you do what you originally said and have them just tie at the sides? Yes, that's what I'm going to do. Plus, it saves doing 2 long side seams. Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You're right, that it just is kind of like the butterfly tops. Yeah, so it'll have the hole for the neck, the shoulder section, come down for the front and the back, and then have 2 ties here and here. Yes, this is the styles I'm going to make for them. Yep. Head, the front, the back, and then the 2 side ties. Yes. Plus, yep. Yep, we're doing that kind. Super easy. Because holiday gifts for kiddos should be easy. Especially if you know that they're going to outgrow it at some point, and I'm not going to spend a gajillion hours doing something super fancy that they're just going to wear for a year or two. No, I did get my F backwards. Try to draw upside down and backwards for the camera, but we did it. Yep. Because I've always liked that kind when you're little. You can have got your sides free, and then I can have like a little bottom pocket on the front hand side. The question next is to be double-sided and lined or not. I don't know yet. I'll have to think about it. I'll have to, maybe after we get through this project, we'll do a Shop My Stash sesh, because it's been a while since we've done one of those. And also need to go through the wool tub. Oh, I gotta check in and see if they like their slippers and if they want a pair in leather. So I know that they must have them by now. But I need to go through the wool because I want to have a pair of slippers in leather. And then the rest of the crappy wool to make dryer balls with. Because the mister was like, but I keep wanting dryer sheets. And I'm like, but the wool dryer balls are so much better. And then, of course, they were listening in the chat for, was it Viva and Barnes or... No, it was America's on Freeform Friday, America's Untold Stories on Friday in the locals chat. And some people were like, wool dryer balls. And he was like, oh, yeah. It's like, oh, yeah, I've only been telling you. And they work so well. And I've got crappy wool that's good for nothing else. Because it's already half felted. Well, like sometimes people don't hear all the time unless somebody else says the same thing, and then they're like, oh, right. That is a good idea. Okay, here's how these bullion stitches are going. We're almost halfway through with this one. I know I don't want to do those long side seams. It's going to be enough to do. Oh, maybe we'll cut our 15th, 16th inch bias strips and use the bias foot attachment. Because I need to get better friends with that one. And at some point I'm going to run out of my pre-made bias tape that I keep finding from the Goodwill. So, might as well. I'm seriously not. Any way that I can coax you to use. There we go. No, I was joking with Will yesterday that he was talking about his yellow raincoat that he should just make a hat and he can be a Goldfisher person for Halloween this year. Alright, once we run out of thread or finish this cactus, whichever comes first, we'll probably call it a show because I need to use the little circus room and stuff. I'm thinking maybe Tuesday nights. I'll see if we might start doing a weeknight show. You know, I said that last week and it didn't come to fruition. We'll see. I'm toying around with the notion of it. So I was also thinking of like giving up one of the weekend shows, but then I don't know. I just don't know. But I keep having fun and keep having stuff to sew, so. Oh, we're so punny now. So. Oh, right, that was also the name of this week's show. I thought I was going to finish old clothing projects, but I was like, Phoenix, just finish this one. I was like, okay. Oh, again with another knot. Alright. Not even gonna fight it. We'll just couch that down. Oh, this. Alright, it looks like we're gonna be. We'll be wrapping it up in a few minutes here, folks. I appreciate everybody who's stuck around this long or popped in later. If folks don't mind, because I'm terrible about remembering, you want to like smash some buttons, that would be super awesome. And let's see here. We will not so like that. Keep your eyes peeled. We might do a Tuesday evening number. And we'll definitely be back Saturday at 3:30. We've gotten into this time. We've been doing this show at this time they're having a Sunday show for a long time. So we'll keep our Sunday shows, and so far we'll probably keep our Saturday shows too. We'll see. I think we're just going to add more and not less, because why not? My brain is filled with so many ideas, and why work on stuff where I want some when I can hang out with you? All right. Okay, let's see here. I don't want to peel my eyes though. Fair. Okay, I will check, but YouTube has been hating me and not giving suggestions as they used to. All right. Well, I will try to. Yes, there was a problem. YouTube Studio, or not YouTube Studios, Rumble Studios wasn't talking nicely with YouTube, and I will try to make sure I do way better about posting in the community tab. So if you got the bell button, and I hate clicking the bell because I don't love getting all the notifications, I'll try to make more announcements about it, and so that everybody who wants to hang out with me can. All right, folks, you have a great time until I see you next. Don't laugh at others unless you've laughed at yourself, and don't wait until tomorrow when you can be fabulous today. All right, stay awesome, friends, and until next time, let us get ready to roll my outro. All right, bye.
Here, Kilroy.